Our atmosphere seems to be getting warmer. This is bad. Well, it's been calculated a few degrees rise in the Earth's temperature would melt the polar ice caps.
60年前的电视影集是今日的写照，现在要担心的是，另一个预言也会成真吗？
Tourists in glass-bottom boats would be viewing the drowned towers of Miami through 150 feet of tropical water.
In Miami, it's not a matter of if, but rather when the big one will hit. Hurricane Andrew was a pivotal moment. The Category 5 storm made landfall south of Miami in Homestead on August 24, 1992. The damage was widespread and made worse by inadequate building codes. But that was then. But today in South Florida, engineers and emergency planners are increasingly worried about the threat from water.
There were 4 other projects from the region, 2 from Palm Beach.
Susie Torrienti is the Chief Resilience Officer for the city of Miami Beach.
The lessons learned from after Andrew created the South Florida Building Code really for wind, and that was adopted to the Florida Building Code. How do we actually start looking at flooding and sea level rise and look at our building code and start to add more measures in there for adaptation for that?
Miami Beach is a 7-square-mile barrier island that sits low between Biscayne Bay and the Atlantic Ocean.
That makes us beautiful but vulnerable. And so we're vulnerable to flooding. We're obviously vulnerable to the effects of sea level rise. And nowadays, the typical rainstorms that we would get in South Florida in the afternoons seem to be getting more pronounced and stronger.
And in the spring and fall, when the pull of the moon is strongest, creating the highest tides of the year, the city must also contend with serious flooding beneath blue skies and sunshine. So they are in the midst of building 80 stormwater pump stations to keep their feet dry. The pumps, along with roads that are raised above grade, are doing the job for now, even though those so-called king tides grow steadily higher as sea level rises. They are not designed to protect Miami Beach from a huge hurricane storm surge, though they can help dry the city out after the worst is over. Harold Wanless is a professor in the Department of Geography and Regional Studies at the University of Miami. He walks past a series of maps where current sea level rise projections are laid over the Florida Peninsula.
You can see by 6 feet, Miami and Broward County, Fort Lauderdale are now a little ridge with channels between them.
面对海平面上升危机，佛罗里达本身先天上就有不足。
At an excavation pit on the campus of the university, Wanless showed us what the entire region is built on, a geologic sieve of limestone.
Miami limestone is one of the most porous limestones anywhere, and water just pours through it very, very, very rapidly. The sea level continues to rise. In the same way that rainwater disappears, the seawater will just come up.
佛州政府采取的方法是效法纽奥良，在迈阿密新建海岸堤防。当地的有钱人则是自己想办法捍卫自己的财产。
That's developer Clay Tootle showing me an 8-figure climate change castle. It sits 9 feet above sea level with concrete slab floors, walls, and roof where all the systems, including a backup generator, will sit. It will be fitted out with stout, double-glazed windows. He says features like this are now common for his wealthy clients.
You guys really have thought of everything.
There's always something else to do, but we try to get as much of it done as possible.
How long is this house going to be a safe house to live in, do you think?
This will be a safe house for 30 years.
但无论是坚不可摧的豪宅，还是不断加高堤防，都只是治标而非治本。
I'm sorry to tell this to people in Miami, we are doomed. And what we got to do is just protect as much as we can while we are living here, but get prepared to move away.